All right, hello, good evening, Laurelwood family. It is Luke and, of course, Kevin Cruz here. How's it going, Kevin?
Hey, pretty good. Beautiful, beautiful day outside. I have been enjoying this weather. It's been nice for our family to take our dog on a walk around the block. Sometimes
Oh,
getting
yeah.
outside is a really healthy thing to do,
Oh, yeah.
especially when the four of us are inside all the time. And I appreciate. I love how our girls. They've been taking the dog on walks. Thank you, Callie and Haley. I know they're watching. Love you guys.
Yes, and it's especially nice to go outside after, 6, 7 hours of Zoom calls and online school and
Right.
staring at a screen all day long. But yeah, it's good to see you, church. We got Steve here, Tammy, Monica, Melanie. I see Eli and Amber,
Yeah,
Gwen, the Stevensons. Welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Everyone put in the chat, what has your day been like? What you guys been up to? Has it been good? Has it been tough? Uh, Tammy asks, yes, these will be able to be replayed later. If you go on YouTube, they should be posted. So if you want to rewatch our mental health chat 10 different times, maybe that helps. I don't know.
Yeah, and even the cool thing about our YouTube channel, everything that is live here is essentially recorded for later. So to answer your question, you can go back, you can even share it if
Yeah.
hopefully some good nuggets come out of this with our special guest Sandra Jones, who is a licensed family and oh man,
Family
I'm
and marriage.
family and marriage therapist. I messed it up. I was practicing. I already messed it
So that
up.
when we bring her on, see, there you go. You get the bad ones out of the way, and now you're
Yeah.
good. When she comes on, you'll have it.
Anyway, my point is that hopefully there's some good nuggets here, and you
Hmm.
can share this link, even send it to people that are that might enjoy this, that
Yeah.
might get some help from
Could
this.
even be a good evangelism tool, if your friends and family members right now don't follow the Lord. I'm sure they're all struggling with mental health in different ways, so
Yep.
a chance to pass
So
it on.
yeah, I hear Monica Powell today was a better day. Patricia Jones, pretty
Good.
good day today. Melanie got some gardening done. She
Nice.
got some flowers in the front, so our front porch looks beautiful with all these wonderful flowers. Thank you, Melanie, for
Nice.
making our house look beautiful.
I wonder who in the chat already has a tan going. That's what I want to know.
I mean, could anyone really have a tan?
Not
Like,
me. I'm too white and I don't tan well, but it's been sunny for like 2 weeks. Some people start tanning like right away. I mean, it's just like 3 hours
but
out in the sun and they're already going.
I know, but I it hasn't been that sunny for that long. I mean, it was pouring rain just a week ago, wasn't it?
I feel like it's been a week or a week and a half of good sun. So I don't know. Just curious.
Whatever. I love it. I love Nicole Holland. A little retail therapy. I hear you.
Retail. Paul, Cheryl, and Steve are here. Hello, hello. JP. Who is JP? I'm trying to remember who JP is. Oh, is that
Howdy.
John? That's got to be John. John Perry, I'm guessing. Cool.
Got it. The pre-coronavirus Mexico trip that Steve Jones took still got a tan from that. Way to go, Steve.
There you go. Holding on. Stay strong, Steve. Don't let it go.
John Perry.
There
Yep.
we go. Okay.
Got the farmer's tan. uh
Oh yeah, I like what Tammy says. It's just a very bittersweet time. Being grateful and then monster feelings of being frazzled and frustrated. I get you there, Tammy. I think that's what we're all experiencing. The ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, all of that right now.
And Elizabeth Hightower, shout out to you. Thank you for chatting. Proud of you for getting on and chatting
Yeah.
and doing what you do best, sitting.
We were talking. Julie and I were talking about today. How all the signs and stuff for like stay home, save lives. It's like this is the easiest time to save lives right now. All you have to do is sit at home and watch Netflix. You're saving lives.
You are a hero.
Yeah.
And by watching
There
Netflix
you go.
miniseries, that's great.
Binge watching,
Uh,
saving lives. All right.
uh,
Well, Kevin, do you have anything that you want to announce, tell the church before we announce our? Well, I guess we already know our special guest, but before we
Yeah,
bring them in,
we know who our special guest is. Before we get to our licensed marriage and family therapist, I
there you
said
go.
it. There we go. I
Nice.
said it
Good
correctly.
job.
Before we get to Sandra Jones, just want to let you know next Tuesday for our live chat, our focus, our theme is going to be just music, and I'm going to do something special, kind of a little bit unique. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a live stream in front of my piano,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just going to be me by my piano, and I'm going to just ask people, hey, what worship songs have been impacting you? What worship songs have been resonating in your head and in your heart? And as you type out your worship songs, as you chat them out, I'm going to just play them. If I know the song, I'll play it. If I know the words, I'll try to. I'm usually pretty bad with lyrics. I'm great with music. So you might only get one verse and one chorus out of me, but the whole plan is that we're going to take that Tuesday chat next week to just sing together.
That's great.
And I've been very, just honestly, shocked and overwhelmed by the just the response I'm getting from people.
Yeah, super powerful.
Yeah, people are wanting music, and I'll be honest and say it shocked me. I think I had in my mind this idea of like, oh well, the quality's going to be bad, and no one's going to want to sing to their TV screen, and logistically it's just a nightmare to set up.
Right.
And so it's like there's all these things in my mind that were just preventing us, like, well, we can't do music because of all this. And we've been experimenting with different things, and we started doing it, and the response has been amazing. It blew me away. So
yeah,
all that to say, next week, next Tuesday, 5:00, join us on our live stream here, and it will just be an entire time of doing music and singing and worshiping together. It'll be great.
Sounds good to me. I'll be there streaming it.
Yeah, you'll be behind the computer.
There we go.
I'll be in front of the piano. Luke will be behind the computer, and we'll make it happen.
Maybe we'll give you a second screen that we can just type in real quick the lyrics so that you can actually know what they are.
No, I might just have to pull the lyrics up on my phone because I'm
horrible
with lyrics.
Okay,
I'm great with music, horrible with lyrics.
Some kind of secondary screen to get you going, get you through it. I believe in you, Kevin. I think you'll be able to pull it off. I'm looking forward to it. So
thank you.
Well, thank you guys all for being here. I see the Wilds are here now too. Miwa, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I hope you guys are excited for our guest. Kevin, are we ready to bring them in?
Yeah, I think we can bring. So we have Sandra Jones, who is a licensed family and oh my goodness, I messed it up again.
Marriage and family.
Marriage and family therapist. I should have written it down. Sandra, I'm sorry. Welcome to our live chat. We are glad that you have joined us, and we are glad that you are here with us. Sandra, welcome.
Thank you. And it is licensed marriage and family therapist. So.
Yeah. So Sandra, tell us just a little bit of your background, your history. Tell us even what does that mean being a licensed marriage and family therapist?
Well, a licensed marriage and family therapist is a person that they have the mental health training. We have all the mental health training, but then we go on and learn more about actually families and how to help couples and families and groups. And so it's more of a specialty, but we have the other training also. So we can do individuals, we can do groups, we can do families, we can do couples, whatever.
Great.
So, and my background is I had my master's from Northwest Christian University down in Eugene. I've been practicing for 28 years.
Wow.
Years now. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I love it.
I guess you have to if you're doing it for 28 years, right?
So, but one of the things I want to make sure that everybody understands is what you're going through is they use the word the new normal. This is not normal. So
yeah,
that word is not okay because this is not normal. And I think we need to tell ourselves that depression, anxiety, stress, even things like anger and, there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of different emotions and feelings, and that's not normal. So what is normal is for us to figure out how to get through this in a way that won't hurt us. There will be some minor, and I'm using this word very loosely, minor PTSD from this, because there's a lot of situations that have people that are naturally deal with depression and anxiety are going to
Mm-hmm.
have more issues. And even some of the doctors are upping their medication because of that, which
Mm.
is only temporary but necessary. So if you are a person with depression or anxiety and do take medication, it's probably a good idea to call your doctor and
Yeah.
just see if it would help to increase that. But um, come with depression and anxiety, which and everybody's kind of dealing with that, whether you have it normally or not. Everybody's kind of dealing with the depression and anxiety, loneliness, grief. We have a lot of losses right now. We can't do a lot of the things that we normally do. We miss a lot of things, and that's a part of grief, um, which I think that it's good to go ahead and acknowledge that. So the with grief, with loneliness, we're very social beings. I mean, that's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So without connection with other people, we're going to have a reaction. One of the things I read was that 10 hours without any social interaction is the same as not eating for 10 hours. I don't know if that's true or
Wow.
not, but it sounded kind of like right,
Yeah.
because we need other people. The other thing is we have we have this, we have Zoom, we have all the different types of things on, uh, you know, what we're doing
All,
now,
yeah, all the technology.
all the technology, the internet stuff. And we need to use that and reach out to families, reach out to friends, reach out to people that you feel maybe you can help. Because one of the things that happens when we're in this kind of situation that I'm coming with a lot of clients is that they're thinking a lot about themselves.
Mm.
And because they have all these feelings. And so what kind of helps you get out of that would be to think of other people. Nobody gets anything in the mail anymore. Send people cards. Send
I mean,
people.
I just did from a sixth grade boy, so that's
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
yeah, that is really cool. No, and that's a good thing to try things that you don't normally do to reach out. One of the biggest the problems that I see the most is with teenagers. They're they're very social, and they're very social with their peers.
Mm-hmm.
And their peers are the most important people in their lives right now. And so helping your teenager acknowledge that they are missing something that they really need, and
Yeah.
acknowledging, getting them to letting them, telling them that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to want your friends, and coming up with some very creative ideas. I mean, I so I drove by somebody, and there was everybody had their blankets on their lawn, and they were like 6 feet apart, but they were teenagers.
Huh.
And they were talking and laughing, and uh, so they were having fun together. So they were having some social interaction. It's not the same, it's not as good, but it is important. So the just in talking to parents of teenagers, uh, if you're listening, do not take their phone away from them.
Hmm.
It's their only connection to the outside world. Their only one. Their Xbox, their gaming, their stuff. It's what connects them to the people that are most important to them now.
Right.
And if you're going to discipline them, figure out something else. Have them add another chore to them. Have them go pick up the poop in the backyard. I don't care what you do, but stay away from taking away their connection to their friends. So, do we have any questions out there?
Yeah. So, chat, as you guys are watching us kind of have this discussion, we would love for you guys to be involved. So, we have Sandra here, and Kevin and I can, I guess, ask questions all day long, but we would rather have you guys ask the questions that you are dealing with. And so, feel free as we're talking, just keep chatting. We'll get to your questions as we go. Nicole writes, it's not really a question, but she's just agreeing with you, saying, I'm feeling quite a bit with my teens. It's hard to know how to make teenagers feel better sometimes. It's hard for a mom watching them, and I know from talking to her that, she senses her teenagers struggling. So is there anything that you could recommend? Just how do we
Well,
help our teenagers in that?
yeah, one of the things is that teens, they're not really good at acknowledging and understanding their feelings. So being able to be open with your feelings and saying, I'm really having a hard time. I'm feeling kind of depressed and anxious. What are you feeling? And I had one dad say, I am just snapping at my kids all the time. So let them know that, hey, I don't like it when I do this. I don't like it when I, snap at you. Be just real open with what's going on with you, and then ask them what's going on with them, so that they have that freedom. um, you can even say, hey, I notice that you're just pretty lethargic, laying around a lot. That's kind of a sign of depression. Are you feeling depressed? Because a lot of parents are saying, oh, you're just lazy slobs. And it
Hmm.
might not be that. It might be that they're just depressed and they're not motivated. So helping them acknowledge their feelings and being empathetic about it is really, really important.
Hmm.
And Sandra, you said something that really good, and I appreciate it, even on a personal level for me. You talked about that whole piece of we're responding or reacting differently, and like for me and Melanie and Callie and Haley, the four of us are now together all the time, and I find myself snapping a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to help Callie with her math, and I'm getting super frustrated. And just understanding, even allowing myself the recognition of, hey, this is a byproduct even of what we're going through, and it's not normal.
And it's
And
not normal. Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
think the more we tell ourselves and really allow ourselves to think that this is not normal, and acknowledging the things that are happening that aren't normal is really important, and acknowledge them to your kids and to your spouse and to anybody that you're around. If you have contact with people, just, let them know what you're feeling and thinking, so that it kind of gives them permission to sort of look at themselves too.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and it's, and I don't want to say especially Christians, but I'm going to anyway. Uh,
You can say whatever you want, apparently.
because they feel like they have to have this positive demeanor,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that, we want to look at the positive. We want to be able to see things through the Lord's eyes, but it's also important to be able to share and let people know that you're not always thinking good thoughts, and it's okay. One of the things that really I think is really important is being able to. We have summer coming on. Hopefully, this will be over by the time, really, the middle of
Hopefully,
summer.
that'd be great.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
but go ahead and sit down with your family and plan a outing that you're, or something special that you're going to do when the virus is gone, when you have the freedom, and bring the kids in on it if you're a family, and plan, and couples plan, singles plan something, so that you have something to look forward to and think about, that hey, so we only got a few more weeks here, and then we're going to do this. So looking forward to something is really important too.
Yeah. That's good. Melanie writes, what if they don't want to share what's going on with them and how they're feeling? And I think I would add on to that too, especially for parents of teenagers. What if they don't know really how they're feeling? We've been talking with a lot of students that they've just been on their screens all day long, or just trying to drown out their feelings with entertainment and haven't really engaged with their feelings. So what would you recommend there? How do we work and help those teens?
Well, I think that the more that we as adults acknowledge it to them, or even make statements, it's not necessarily just to pull it from them, but to say, boy, that was not me normally. This isolation is really getting to me. Um, Apologize when you snap at them. Acknowledge that, it's hard all being together at the same time and being in the same house 24/7. Uh, and say, let's go take a walk. Let's get out of here. Do something outside. I know with the younger kids, it's really, one of the things that I recommend is a scavenger hunt. Go out and hide things and have the kids find them. Um, but yeah, teenagers don't always want to talk to their parents, especially if they don't have a really good, close
Sure.
relationship. So that's where maybe other people might come in. For instance, you, Luke.
Yeah. I'm
So,
available. Yeah.
available. So just checking on them and saying, hey, this is the rough time I'm having. This is what I'm feeling and thinking. Do you have any of those thoughts? Just kind of throw it out there, and parents can do that too. This is boy, I'm having a hard time going to sleep at night. You having any trouble getting to sleep? Just throwing some things out to help initiate, and even if they don't say it, it's helping them think it.
Hmm.
So they may not share it with you as parents, but it gets them thinking in their own head.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll share it with their friends.
Yeah.
And that could be something you can say is, hey, what did you ever ask your friends how they're doing and what they're thinking?
Right. Yeah. So just kind of encouraging them and continuing to acknowledge it ourselves, even if they're not acknowledging it back to us. Maybe it opens the door for someone else. No, I think that's really good to keep in mind.
What one of the things, and just want to encourage people, keep typing in your questions, keep asking questions for Sandra. She's here, she's available. But one of the things, Sandra, that I'm kind of curious about is what are some practical tools or things that people can be doing during this time to stay mentally healthy?
Okay, I have a few things here.
Here, look at that. She's got a list. She's ready. She's ready to go.
Prepared.
I'm here saying, but what we've kind of mentioned is reach out to others so that you're not just thinking about yourself. Find ways to connect with other people, your neighbors. We had happy hour here last weekend. I have a huge driveway because I connect with another driveway, and people brought their chairs and their own drinks, and we had our masks on and we chatted all evening.
That's so fun.
A lot of fun. So figure out creative ways to be doing something else. Focus. Well, this is one of the things that focus on your mindset, your interpretation, your appraisal of what's going on, and instead of thinking of being trapped, thinking about you're protecting other people and yourself. Just try to get those thinking in changing a little bit. And if you just kind of talk to yourself, it's okay to talk to yourself and tell yourself these things. Journaling is one of the things that I'm really recommending people to do, and especially teens and kids, because this is a historical time. And you journal now about what's happening and what you see, what's happening with your neighbors, what's happening with your parents, what's happening with your family, and what's happening with yourself. And, when you get older, your parents will give you these journals and you've got it there about what happened during that time.
Yeah.
Because this is a historical time. Cooking, writing, get the kids in there, get your couples in there, singles, start cooking, Pinterest has great recipes, go on and find something that's interesting to do that you'd like to create. The other thing that teenagers is and kids is to connect with their grandparents. Not only for themselves. I have a 12-year-old boy that he talks to his grandma every day. They do FaceTime because he says, I really, really miss her. And he said, it helps me during the day, helps me for the rest of the day. So that's another one. And one of the things that the Generation V, which we all know that's your digital media type of people, and it goes all ages. But if you're really into that, and that's a real part of your life, you're going to have a harder time. And they're starting to do some studies now, and they don't really know why, but there tends to be more depression and more anxiety with folks that really are involved in the more digital world. So that's see. Oh, and as I said, look forward to and appreciating connectiveness when we can. So start thinking about, well, when I do this, Like I was telling my family, I said, I want to have Easter after this is over. We're going to celebrate Easter all together. We're going to have birthday dinners. We're going to do all the things that we missed. I mean, your wife Julia didn't get a birthday dinner, you
Right.
know. So we're going to do that after this is over
Yeah.
and claim it for her birthday. So looking forward to those things, even if it's simple things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's great.
and then plan activities that your family can do and enjoy. Ask the kids what they want to do. I mean, even if it's working on a puzzle, if it's playing a table game, and you're going to have kids that say, "I don't want to do that," you know, but it's more than likely because they are depressed. So
Yeah.
get them up, make them do it anyway, and say, "Hey, if you do this, I'll go. You know, we'll have banana splits or whatever."
Sure. Yeah.
Just getting them up and off of the couch is important. One of the things that is interesting too is that Zoom and FaceTime, as much as it's the best thing we can do right now, it also tricks our mind that things are normal, um, that we're together, but we're not.
Mm.
So it's kind of a dissonance. So it sort of messes with our head a little
I mean,
bit.
I've been feeling Zoom fatigue is the word I keep hearing.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm feeling that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, I do this on Zoom all day long with my clients, and it's not the same, but it's better than nothing. So I think that we need to acknowledge that this is not satisfying all of our social needs, but it's better than not having any.
So is there a balance to that? Like we should only have a certain amount of time on Zoom, or is it more just about acknowledging it that's helpful?
I think it depends on the situation. I think that Zoom is probably helping a lot of people. But if you try to satisfy all your needs on Zoom, you're not going to. So more interaction with family and people that you can have interaction with will satisfy that too. So the combination is good. But yeah, all Zoom, probably not. So, yeah. Um, so anything else coming up?
I saw JP, he wrote, especially true. I think he's referring to when you're talking about journaling. He said, especially true as all the days seem to be blending together. And I think that's something I've been noticing as well, is that some days you wake up and you're just like, what's the point? It's going to be the same as yesterday. So is there something to creating weekly rhythms or something that would be helpful to make sure every day doesn't blend and feel the same?
Structure is good to where you know what's going to be happening for that week. I would say for the week, being flexible within that week, within that though, is really important. Um, the I know that if you just kind of let everything go and you just get up and meander around your life, that's not healthy. So if you know that, you know, you get up and you read the paper or you get on your computer and find out what's happening in the world, but then you're going to go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got that schedule. It's almost good to have it in your calendar.
Yeah.
So you have, you're going to go for a walk between 10 and 12. And then you're going to have lunch, and then the family's going to do something together. Or we've got neighbors that we're all going to throw our blankets out on the lawn and talk and visit. So that there's some structure, and it's after dinner, we're going to watch a movie together. So that there is structure, but there's flexibility. Also, I think we really need to work at putting prayer, meditation, yoga, exercise definitely in that structure.
Yeah.
I love prayer, but I'm really not so good at meditation. My mind keeps going off in 20 different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have the time and I'm spending a little bit more time and energy on it, I'm increasing my time for meditation, which is something that I think that we have time now to do. People that my son-in-law has a list of projects that he's doing because, you know, he needs to.
Right.
So, just for his sanity. Chris. And so that's another thing, is getting things done that you normally don't have time to get done is a really good thing. And I would put that into the calendar. You know, I'm going to go chop down trees, or I'm going to clean out the attic, or go through all of my files and get rid of stuff I don't need anymore. Stuff that you just wouldn't normally do. So at the end of this, you can say, wow, I got a lot done. I was able to do this, 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 and this. And it's been on my mind for the last 5 years,
Yeah.
One of the things that Pastor Mike, he's actually chatting right now, and he's mentioned this in our staff meetings. He's been doing these projects like you're talking about, Sandra, kind of deferred projects, working on a retaining wall, working on these other things. But I think even more important, at least I would imagine, is he's getting outside, he's physically moving his body, he's getting his heart rate going, and all those are very healthy things. And not only is he accomplishing, and Pastor Mike, he loves accomplishing stuff. That's anytime he can get a win, and he says, I'd rather be fly fishing. Yes, we know, Mike.
Know that.
But yeah, I think to your point, Sandra, what that does is it helps you accomplish things, deferred things. It also gets you outside, blood pumping, heart is going and stuff. Patricia, she put a question a little bit ago. She says, Sandra, what would you say to parents about their anxiety and how it impacts their children?
Okay, that's happening a lot, and I have that a lot I'm hearing that from my teenagers, and I'm hearing that from my parents. And I think acknowledging it to your kids, and being aware yourself, and not trying to pretend like it's not there. A lot of people say, well, I'm no different, nothing's different. Well, yeah, you are. Every one of us is different. And so being able to, and also I encourage the teenagers to tell their parents, you're different, you've been yelling a lot more, are you not feeling good? But doing it in a nice way instead of when you're arguing, because a lot of times the argument starts and then they're saying things they wish they didn't say. So being able to, in the time that there isn't a problem, there isn't stress going on, is to be able to say, I've just noticed that you seem to be really kind of, yelling more, getting more angry with us. Is it because of this virus? Is it because we're all together? Kind of kids can ask questions, and kids can bring up things if they do it in a way that isn't attacking.
So you're talking about acknowledging that, and I think that's really good. But I also wonder, is there an opposite extreme where, someone is watching the news constantly talking about it, constantly heightenedly aware and anxious, and, even if they're not a parent, maybe they're spreading it to their spouse or, whoever's in the home.
I recommend that you only watch the news or read the paper, whatever you do, one time a day. That's it. And it comes up on your phone all the time. All the time. And I'm very tempted to click onto it because CNN is always there. But I really tried really hard to only you want to be aware, you want to know what's happening, but only once a day. And also some of the political stuff that's out there, avoid it.
Right.
Just avoid it 100%, because there's a lot of stuff going on that we don't even need to know. And, but yeah, it does. It increases anxiety, increases stress, and it's depressing. Because what's happening out there is depressing. People are dying. People are getting sick. And so, yeah.
One of the things that I've found myself doing, and maybe I need to change this pattern a little bit, but, like weeks ago, I discovered Johns Hopkins University had this live corona map, and it showed, it showed all the cases, and it had like a number of this many people have been, have gotten it. This many people have died. This many people have recovered.
I just found it, Kevin, one time a day.
Yeah, and well, right, and I found myself I was refreshing it every hour. I'm like, oh my gosh, another 10,000.
No, I could not handle that.
Yeah, and it's just not healthy. And so, yeah, I do it basically once a day now, but still, it makes my heart kind of sad because I'm like, oh my gosh, another 200,000 people have it, and another 10,000 people have died, and New York City now is up to 8,000 deaths, and and so I think to Luke's question, how much of that, we want to stay up to date on the news, but we don't want to have it depressing us. So what's the balance in that?
And that's, like I said, one time a day is all you need. Don't uh, don't bring your kids into the news if you don't have to. I mean, if they're older, then it doesn't hurt for them to know what's going on, because it kind of keeps them balanced and aware that we still need to be careful. But too much of it is not good, definitely. And yeah, the one of the things that I think that as Christians that we have a responsibility is, as we learn these things and daily, is when I'm listening to the news, I just pray, because there's so much stuff out there that is, and so many people that are hurting. And I drove by Peace Health, a hospital, and there's these tents, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So yeah, we can pray, but we don't need to inundate ourselves with all of that information all the time.
Yeah, that's good. Christine just says, love these suggestions. It's hard having two parents working from home and guiding distance learning. I assume that's like the online school stuff. And
Yes.
she says it's hard, or we had to give ourselves permission to not be stressed or anxious about getting it all accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
being flexible and realizing that, your kids they're going to go back to school. During the summer, they forget stuff anyway. So you go back, everybody's going to be on the same page, and they're not going to have lost a whole lot. So being pretty flexible about that. But I have a lot of single mothers, single parents, and dads that are trying to do this and work at home and help their kids in school. And I would just say, do the best you can, and realize that it really isn't going to matter that much.
Yeah.
I was talking today in our staff meeting, and I was sharing with the Laurelwood staff. I'm the only staff member that has school age children, and so I'm in this position like Christine Perry's talking about, and Monica Powell, I know you're in that position as well too, where you're trying to help your kids, and it is hard and it is stressful. And on top of that, I have a million things I'm trying to get done for the church, and trying to figure out how to do digital church and keep in touch with everyone. And I really appreciate, Christine, your comment of, give yourself permission. It's okay to not get the stuff done. And even today I told Haley, she had this math problem and she wasn't sure about it. And I was like, well, let's contact your teacher. And I said, honestly, honey, at the end of the day, it's not really going to matter if you get this problem right or wrong. Like, it's great that you're still doing school and that you're still, doing learning. But the reality is you're either going to pass or you're going to fail. They're not giving grades out. It's going to be okay.
Everybody's passing. So there's nothing to really stress about. No. And if you feel that your kid is missing in something and part of their education during the summer, you can do some fun stuff with it, But right now, I think just getting through this whole isolation is probably what we need to focus on.
Yeah. Monica asked, and I was going to ask a similar question. She says, how do I balance house and school now? And I would even add to that, just for those of us who still have a job and are working from home, trying to make that transition, how do we still maintain a healthy balance while working and trying to live at home, and as Kevin and others are raising kids and trying to do online school? Yeah, I mean, what do we do about balance right now?
Well, and balance is something that probably not going to happen to the best, but we can try. And that's why I was saying that flexibility, taking care of yourself physically, making sure you're exercising, meditating. Yoga is fantastic because it keeps your mind on your body and your thinking, and you're also exercising. But being able to let go of the things you can't do. You can't do everything. I have a mother who wants their kids to make their bed perfectly every day and wants them to do all the different things. And I said, in the end, who cares? Now, what is the most important thing? And that's to get through this with some semblance of mental health. And so whether you have dishes in your sink or whether you haven't vacuumed enough or go ahead and get outside, do things with your kids, try to figure out how to keep that social activity going in a way that that we can't, always do with our friends. So, but yeah, flexibility and letting go of stuff that is not that important.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's really good. I think kind of what I'm hearing is limiting myself, even though it feels like there's more time and more like
More things you have to do, but
right, but to
really
just
don't.
limit down and focus on
Yeah.
what's important. Yeah.
Yeah. People that don't have kids and are working at home, they can do the projects like, what Mike is doing. And some of the clients that I have, that they're able to get stuff done. But there's some people that, single parents, even both parents, that are working at home and trying to get their kids through the online schooling, they don't have the time to get a lot of extra stuff done. So the focus has to be on the mental health part. And that's in trying to figure out things that everybody can enjoy doing and feeling good about. So,
Yeah. That's awesome. Kevin, I think we're almost out of time. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, we're I mean, this is really great. I feel, honestly, Sandra, I feel like we could probably just sit here and pick your brain for a long time. Thank you for being a part of this.
yeah.
This is good. Just a couple of chats that I think are worth reading. Angie, thank you so much for your perspective as a teacher. Angie Braithwaite is one of our teachers at Laurelwood, and she's just encouraging, and this is a good reminder to me. She says, reach out to your teachers. If your kids are struggling, talk to the teachers about assigning work that is maybe more independent. And that's something that I've actually, talked to Haley's teacher, and I'm like, hey, me and Melanie, we're both working full-time jobs. Like I can't spend 2 hours a day tutoring and helping Haley with all the, digital, online stuff. And so that's been helpful. Thank you, Angie, for that reminder.
I have one more thing I wanted to say, was that you folks that are working with kids, and the youth group, the Sunday school teachers, and everybody, you have a lot more ability to get these kids to talk and to share than maybe even their parents do. So if there's any way that you can connect with them, and I know Patricia's question, but also encourage the kids to speak out and not to hold their feelings in.
Mm-hmm.
And to, like I said before, in a nice way, but let them know, hey, I'm feeling really like you're angry a lot at me. Is there, what's going on? Because there is going to be more tension. So encouraging the kids in your interaction with them, all of you that are connected with kids, to speak out and share with their parents what's going on with them.
Yeah, great words, great thoughts. Just a couple final thoughts here. Steve Jones saying, hey, make sure you keep that schedule, stick with the schedule. That's a good reminder to differentiate between, home stuff and work stuff. Mm-hmm. Adam Wild, great reminder that, hey, we're only experiencing a once in a century world stopping pandemic. So maybe we can make an exception to things. And I think
absolutely.
Yeah, and Sandra, that really goes to what you're talking about is like, hey, focus on the mental health thing, because this is not normal. This will never probably happen again in our lifetimes. And we need to give each other grace, and we need to give each other flexibility.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, thank you.
It was great talking to you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sandra. I'm sure if people in our church have questions more after this, we can get them to email them or something.
Definitely. Yeah, they can call me too. Like I said, I am seeing people. And if you just have a question or anything, just email me. You can give out my email address is fine. And any way I can help, I would love to.
Awesome.
Thank
you. It was a big help today. For those of you watching, don't forget you can rewatch it. If I saw some of you guys sneak in here later on, you can go back and watch it or send it to a friend maybe who's questioning or struggling right now during this time. But as far as our time today being live, we are done. So thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Kevin.
So long.
And church, we will see you guys on Sunday. Have a good day.
Bye now.